2018 Jaguar F-Pace Review. The good points of Jaguar F-Pace: great ride and handling balance, practical design, low-cost 2.0-liter diesel option. SVR is usually a fire-breathing monster. The bad points of Jaguar F-Pace: pricey against rivals, larger engines expensive, make an easier to drive quickly, interior finish disappoints. As their first entrant inside ever-expanding SUV market, the Jaguar F-Pace is really a critical car for that British marque. The idea of this sort of car, at the same time recently as 10 years ago, could have seemed a stretch much for Jaguar, but here I am, plus it appears for being selling well. It enters the premium crossover arena like a rival for some impressive machines, excepting the Audi Q5, BMW X3 and Mercedes-Benz GLC. It could be argued the reason its toughest rival would be the Range Rover Velar, but Jaguar insists which the F-Pace incorporates a more sporting road driving bias that calls the Porsche Macan's talents into question. Striking design, familiar engineering. Based about the same lightweight architecture and suspense-icon setup that underpins two of Jaguar's saloon models, this plus the XF, the F-Pace boasts both performance and efficiency. It's a good place to begin, even though the F-Pace just isn't as light, mainly because it should be considering such extensive utilization of lightweight materials. Grabbing the low running costs headlines will be the 2.0-liter 163 horsepower diesel rear-wheel drive model matched using a manual gearbox, with official figures of 59.2 miles per gallon and CO2 emissions of 126 gkm. Although it's the slowest from the range, requiring 10.2 seconds to try and do the 0.62 miles per hour benchmark sprint. Should I buy a petrol or diesel Jaguar F-Pace? A great compromise would be the more powerful 180 horsepower version of the identical engine, called 20D, that has a smooth shifting automatic. Feels a lesser compromise. The 0.62 miles per hour sprint takes 8.5 seconds. Yet Jaguar still claims 55.4 miles per gallon and 129 gkm of CO2. Fleshing the product range out certainly are a 240 horsepower twin-turbo edition of the identical diesel-badged 25D along with a 2.0-liter petrol 25 tons and 30 tons with 250 horsepower and 300 horsepower respectively. If your financial budget can stretch to at least one of the 3.0-liter V6s, then you'll appreciate any additional refinement along with speed. The 300 horsepower diesel requires 6.2 seconds for the 0.62 miles per hour dash. The 380 horsepower supercharged petrol just 5.5 seconds. The downside from the latter can be an eye-watering 31.7 miles per gallon official average. How does the Jaguar F-Pace drive? As you'd expect, the engineers convicted of perfecting the Jaguar F-Pace did a great job featuring its dynamics. Unlike a Land Rover or Range Rover, that's to have great off-roading capability in the DNA, the F-Pace doesn't carry this baggage, and therefore must be treated being an off-roader inasmuch since it will tow a horsebox up a muddy hill, and handle a little light greenlining, ably assisted by its intelligent all-wheel drive system. On-road is when it matters towards the F-Pace. That is certainly where it scores reasonably well. It's blessed with good steering along with a suspension setup that's able to deliver in great cornering once you're used for the lofty driving position. The ride quality can be quite wheel-dependent. On 22-inch wheels, it struggles with bumps and ruts, while feeling fidgety on motorways. On 20-inch wheels, it is a much calmer affair, although does not do it really relax and feel as comfortable because it is rivals, for example the Mercedes-Benz GLC. While the F-Pace boasts the capability to use alloys nearly 22 inches in diameter, we'd suggest you stay away. It's a comfier car on 20 inches, so we reckon the auto handles better with these, too, particularly if opt for that adaptive suspension system. Jaguar F-Pace, large, tech-filled cabin. No rivals can match the Jaguar on the subject of making the cabin feel sporty. It's been meant to make you feel apart from the driving experience, having a high shoulder line despite its lofty driving position. While the quality is acceptable, the richness on the plastics used with the interior lags behind its key rivals, especially the Audi. There are way too many hard surfaces, along with the switchgear isn't blessed with similar level of well-damped satisfaction. The boot itself is huge and there's an abundance of room from the cabin too, with rear headroom only slightly impeded for taller passengers when you've got a panoramic roof installed. You can even have reclining rear seats installed, being an optional extra for one more touch of luxury. Jaguar F-Pace gadgets and technology. We are impressed using the tech to be had, though. Jaguar's N-Control Touch Pro multimedia system is really a significant leap in the firm's earlier offerings and represents a huge step forward with regards to its responsiveness. Is it for the cutting edge of what's to be had, though? In-car, Wi-Fi along having a number of apps, are stored on hand to produce best usage of the car's systems, while other clever features feature an activity key, a waterproof, wearable car key, as well as a powered tailgate, and that is standard on all models. Jaguar F-Pace SVR, using fight towards the Porsche Macan. In March 2018, the long-awaited range-topping Jaguar F-Pace SVR below was unveiled. It's powered using a 5.0-liter supercharged V8 that F-Type owners are often more than accustomed to. It develops 550 horsepower, and Jaguar says it's going to dash from 0-62 miles per hour in 4.3 seconds. Unlike its German rivals, its maximum speed isn't limited, either, therefore it tops out at 176 miles per hour. It features upgraded suspension, a fresh rear electronic differential to deal with the power, torque vectoring, along with a quick-shift automatic transmission. To make it fit the bill, the SVR receives a revised and clean-looking front end, plus a rear bumper that houses 4 exhaust tailpipes and also a mini flip-up spoiler. Standard wheels are 21-inch alloys, but 22 inches wheels are a choice. Inside, you receive slimline leather sports seats with lozenge quilting along with an embossed SVR logo. Up to 4 upholstery color combos is usually spec'd. It's accessible to order on the summer of 2018 at £74,835. The verdict. The Jaguar F-Pace SUV can be a stylish and sporty replacement for more rational category off-roaders such as the Audi Q5 or Mercedes-Benz GLC. It's great to operate a vehicle, and if you select one from the 3.0-liter engines, boasts a thrilling amount of capability to contrast the generous interior space and comfort. Rivals give you a better interior finish, but that's really the only nit we are able to pick within this talented and handsome SUV. Jaguar F-Pace SUV Review. Broad selection of petrol and diesel engines. Rear and all-wheel drive permutations. V6 engines give the most performance. For a brand name synonymous with performance, it's no real surprise that each with the Jaguar F-Pace's 3 diesel and a couple petrol engines are turbocharged or supercharged. Lower-powered diesels are available having a manual gearbox and rear-wheel drive, but further up the stove an automatic transmission and all-wheel drive are standard. The auto's changes are really smooth, they're barely perceptible, along with the F-Pace doesn't struggle deciding which ratio to pick out. an issue on some rivals' gearboxes. Economical diesel choices. The tastes of Paces the truth is on the street are powered by versions in the 4-cylinder Ingenium group of turbocharged diesels. Entry point could be the 2.0-liter 163 horsepower version, exclusively paired, which has a 6-speed manual and rear-wheel drive, heralded because the F-Pace's efficiency champion, with claims of as much as 59.2 miles per gallon and CO2 emissions of 126 gkm. Needless to express, this will be the slowest model inside the lineup, that has a top speed of 121 miles per hour and, despite 380 Nm of torque provided by 1,750 revolutions per minute, a 0.62 miles per hour duration of 10.2 seconds. Offering more urgency would be the 180 horsepower version of the identical engine, badged 20D. It's still rear-wheel drive as standard, but now together with a slick 8-speed automatic. An increase in torque to 430 Nm sees the 0.62 miles per hour time dip to 8.5 seconds, while top speed somewhat higher at 129 miles per hour. We found this motor for being perfectly adequate and, considering its running costs are extremely much less than the V6 power plants being offered, there isn't much reason to visit elsewhere if you do not want to decide on one in the higher trims. Pity it doesn't sound particularly inspiring. If you need the excess traction afforded by all-wheel drive, the 20D AWD can be acquired with both manual and automatic transmissions. Both have 129 miles per hour top speeds and require 8.7 seconds for the 0.62 miles per hour dash. However, the manual offers marginally lower running costs. That same basic 4-cylinder diesel also features within the 25D AWD, but is actually twin turbocharged for 240 horsepower and 500 Nm of torque for just a linear power delivery from 1,500 revolutions per minute. It's appreciably quicker, that has a 0.62 miles per hour use of 7.2 seconds and also a top speed of 135 miles per hour. Topping the diesel range will be the twin-turbo 3.0-liter V6 fitted for the 30D AWD. Admittedly, this is usually a nicer unit they are driving, primarily because along which consists of 300 horsepower it carries a massive 700 Nm of torque from 1,500 revolutions per minute. That means 0.62 miles per hour in 6.2 seconds, significantly quicker, and thanks to your pair of additional cylinders it sounds better likewise. It's smoother there driving and incorporates a slightly more purposeful burble, though it's not quite F-type amounts of sonorous sound. Top speed is 150 miles per hour, trio of Petrol-powered options. If you don't cover the sort of annual mileage to warrant a diesel, then one with the 3 petrol choices with the F-Pace may appeal. First up is often a turbocharged 2.0-liter, 4-cylinder slightly confusingly badged 25 tons AWD. Not only does it consist of all-wheel drive, a computerized gearbox can also be standard. There's 250 horsepower on tap, although at 365 Nm at 1,200 revolutions per minute it's the lowest amount of torque of kids. Top speed is 135 miles per hour, even though the 0.62 miles per hour test is dispatched within a brisk 6.8 seconds. It'd be simple to discount this engine from the face from the larger, more refined 6-cylinder option. However, it's actually very good, revving cleanly in order to 6,500 revolutions per minute and offering the quieter cabin traveling than you get inside diesel range. Despite its turbocharged nature, this engine's power delivery is extremely smooth, and also the throttle pedal is nicely responsive provided that you keep the revs up. Otherwise it is often a little flat. Our only complaint is that it never really feels particularly quick, plus the automatic gearbox hesitates on round shifts once you're pressing on. The middle ground is inhabited from the 3.0 tons engine, again available as a possible AWD auto only, but boasting more power versus the 25 tons. Here you have 300 horsepower and 400 Nm of torque, these coming in at higher revs compared to the lower output engine. At 1,500 revolutions per minute, this means 0.62 miles per hour takes just 6 seconds. There isn't a great deal of an economy penalty to purchase this engine, nevertheless it costs a little more to buy from the first place only for a marginal performance gain. Ultimate F-Pace performance comes on the supercharged 3.0-liter V6, a unit lifted directly on the F-Type and makes 380 horsepower with torque of 450 Nm. Just 5.5 seconds are required for your 0.62 miles per hour, while top speed is 155 miles per hour. It sounds the part too, having a purposeful growl at low speeds, making way for just a bellowing wail whenever you wring its neck. Acceleration is instant and ferocious. We just wonder just how long it'll be prior to a supercharged V8 engine inevitably finds its way within the bonnet. If you're considering towing with all the Jaguar F-Pace, braked towing weights start at 2,000 kilograms for two main .0-liter manual cars, rising to 2,400 kilograms for many other models. One with the sportiest SUVs to push. Confidence-inspiring steering setup. Feels more composed within the smaller wheels. The F-Pace can be an incredibly accomplished drive no matter what specification. It manages this via a clever group of chassis components that really work in harmony to supply a rear-wheel drive character to the most part, only diverting as much as half the accessible torque for the front wheels when the vehicle senses it's required. We found it uncanny in their performance, with Jaguar's first SUV genuinely able to driving and also anything from the class in short supply of a Porsche Macan, plus the latter isn't quite as big or comfortable. There's a titanic number of grip being offered. No matter how fast you corner, we doubt you'll test the extremities with the wide tires adhesion. It seems drive an automobile better when you avoid the 22-inch wheels suggested. And also the F-Pace's composure is a lot more apparent together with the taller sidewalls you obtain on smaller wheels. We found 20-inch items being ideal, with cheaper tires to switch to. Its steering is finely honed, with plenty feedback to inspire confident cornering and waiting that feels natural in every situations. The handling balance is fantastic too, which further adds for the assured nature in F-Pace. It always feels solid and composed, valuable peace of mind for your sorts of families all buy this car. The only variable on this sense could be the 4-cylinder petrol engine, because it's lighter compared to 6-cylinder petrol and all in the diesels. Although the 25 tons and 30 tons units usually are not the punchiest, they lend the F-Pace an extremely keener rate of turn-in. Cars fitted together with the optional adaptive dynamic suspension package ride with greater poise compared to standard setup, in particular when fitted with larger wheels. If your allowance stretches going without running shoes, select this option. You get Land Rover's terrain response system on all-wheel drive cars called Adaptive Surface Response from the F-Pace's case, which adapts what sort of drivetrain and stability control systems come together to optimize the car to the sort of surface you're driving on. Off-road from the Jaguar F-Pace. We've driven this SUV around the rough stuff and may confirm it's extremely capable, tackling far tougher terrain than Porsche dared to subject the Macan to if this was launched. You'd expect that, frankly, because don't forget this could be the same organization that builds the Land Rovers conducive the field with this respect. You don't get quite as many off-road-centric features on the streets-biased Jaguar, and you could hardly refer to it lacking either. We were particularly impressed together with the all-surface progress control ASPC system, which acts like cruise control for off-road driving. Set it to your speed around 19 miles per hour and it also take care on the car's speed available for you, resulting in to operate the steering. Cabin is stylish and well assembled. Material quality feels inferior to rivals, though. In-Control Touch Pro multimedia system impresses. At first glance, the Jaguar F-Pace's cabin seems like a very smart place to get. The front seat occupants are circled from the same high shoulder line, the Riva hoop and Jaguar speak, seen within this, but this can be a bigger car and therefore it feels like it truly does work better here. It's less claustrophobic and enables the driver to feel more ensconced inside experience of driving. What disappoints is how the quality of some in the materials feels lacking for just a car this expensive, with a few frankly cheap plastics dotted about. It doesn't get a new whole cabin. You will find expanses of soppy leather and well-damped switchgear. Nonetheless, it doesn't reek for being as expensive since its rivals. It's no problem finding a good driving position because of highly adjustable seats as well as a steering wheel that moves in 4 directions. We were particularly impressed using the In-Control Touch Pro touchscreen multimedia system. Jaguar has utilized a far more responsive screen plus it's a joy make use of, but whilst the computers behind the scenes have an overabundance of memory and processing power, they still take a bit while get started on initial fire-up. You have to wait moments before you're capable to enter navigation instructions, for instance. Refined interior ambience isolates passengers. Larger engines still burble into your cabin. Avoid larger wheels to improve comfort. In general, this is undoubtedly an area the spot that the F-Pace excels. It's a brilliantly engineered chassis and you're well insulated from your elements from the cabin. There isn't a huge quantity of engine or road noise, though you'll definitely hear that V6 petrol engine sing, and in actual fact it's a really serene place for being. Not only would we propose you think with great care about the dimensions of alloy wheels where you will order together with your F-Pace, the 22-inch items using lower profile tires don't provide you with the same ride comfort or composure enjoyed on smaller rim sizes. We'd recommend the optional adaptive suspension system to optimize comfort. High quantities of standard kit across the product range. All have electric seats, DAB radio and alloy wheels. Wide array of pricey options to select. There are 4 numbers of trim hierarchy inside the F-Pace range that follow Jaguar's current conventions of Prestige, Sport, Portfolio and S. Standard Jaguar F-Pace SUV equipment. Even for the entry point with the trim structure, the Prestige seems to have a lot of kit being offered. Starting while using cabin, you receive 8-way adjustable heated leather front seats as well as an automatically dimming rear view mirror, dual-zone climate control, manual controls reach and rake adjustment, 40/20/40 split rear seats, 3 12-volt power sockets and a couple of USBs. Infotainment is looked after using Jaguar's In-Control Touch Satnav system, which features an 8.0-inch touchscreen along together with a corresponding Connect pack, meaning Wi-Fi as well being a suite of apps to boost your car's connectivity towards the internet. Bluetooth and DAB radio are standard too, and sound is fed by using an 80-watt speaker system. Exterior features within the lowest spec F-Pace include 18-inch alloy wheels, halogen headlights, LED tail lamps, automation for that lights and wipers, roof rails as well as a powered boot lid. Front and rear parking sensors feature at the same time. Moving as much as Sport trim adds the next to Prestige models, 19-inch alloys, sports perforated front seats, special Sport front and back bumpers, xenon headlights with washer jets, and Sport multifunction controls, metallic sports pedals, a black headliner and chrome finishing to the central console surround. You may make the jump from prestige to portfolio, which implies different 19-inch wheels in addition to 10-way luxury leather seats, the Jaguar Leaper logo embossed about the headrests, a heated front screen, a panoramic glass sunroof, xenon headlamps with washer jets, a 380-watt Meridian subwoofer, a rear-view camera and premium carpet mats. A boost from Sport is S, which has a choice of petrol or diesel 3.0-liter V6s and nets you adaptive suspension, 20-inch alloys, performance brakes, sports leather perforated seats, a heated front screen and washer jets, power folding door mirrors, keyless entry, the Meridian subwoofer mentioned above along with the rear-view camera. Optional Jaguar F-Pace SUV accessories. There's an enormous variety of optional extras you'll be able to specify to personalize your F-Pace more wish, but be attentive to how quickly the prices can escalate. You can specify coming from a wide palette of metallic paints, interior color schemes and alloy wheels around 22 inches in diameter. Nighttime visibility could be improved together with the available fully adaptive LED headlamps, while occupants will be in a position to see out even better, which has a choice of fixed and opening panoramic glass roofs. Even more cost-cutting electrically adjustable sports and luxury front seats may be fitted, Rogues with winged headrests, while comfort's further amplified through the four-zone climate control option. A Meridian stereo audio upgrade is available to the multimedia system, as is really a television function using a dual-view touchscreen to allow for the passengers to look at it even though the driver sees the sat-nav. Wearable tech makes an appearance using the activity key, a rubberized wristband that permits keyless entry without needing to find somewhere to conceal it securely once you go wakeboarding. Of all in the options, one we'd recommend one of the most strongly may be the adaptive suspension system, especially in the event you do intend to own the larger alloys fitted. Ride quality will improve significantly on this extra. 5-star rating when tested by Euro NCAP. Lots of recent driver assistance kit. Many F-Paces feature 4-driven wheels. When the F-Pace was crash-tested by Euro NCAP with the end of 2017, it achieved the full 5-star score. This wasn't a surprise, and the Jaguar's safety kit ensemble is impressive, even just in base prestige trim. Standard systems include lane departure warning, autonomous emergency braking, traffic sign recognition including a sensible speed limiter, front and back parking sensors, keyless ignition, whiplash protection for front seats and ISOFIX child seat lashing points from the rear. Plus, let's bear in mind, this is surely an SUV, so all models benefit from your more commanding view in the road ahead. The new experience of one of Jaguar's traditional saloons and all-wheel drive is designed for many models inside range. Sporty and luxurious, using a nod to practicality. Enormous boot seats around. Getting into your back requires agility. The cabin features a variety of storage spaces including door pockets with space for giant bottles. As you move, the central storage cubby is large and houses USB and 12-volt connections as well as HDMI connections where specified as optional extras. You've got selecting reclining rear seats also, adding further luxury for the passengers. We found access towards the rear a smaller bit cumbersome because on the huge wheel arches, but there's an abundance of headroom for 4 occupants to stay in comfort. The Jaguar F-Pace is pretty a bit longer and taller over a normal hatchback, therefore it'd be well worth measuring your garage or driveway to generate sure it'll fit. That said, it's smaller than the usual 7-seat SUV, much like the Audi Q7 or Mercedes-Benz GLS. The Jaguar F-Pace continues to be built with practicality in your mind, also it shows. It incorporates a 650-liter boot accessed with a standard powered tailgate and rear seats that fold almost, however, not quite flat in a very 40 hours 20 minutes 40 seconds split, which implies you're competent to load longer items of around 1.8 meters into the auto. A pair of skis shouldn't be an issue. One example is its load space expands into a total of a single 740 liters while using rear seats folded, even though the boot floor is reversible and rubberized somewhere for easy cleaning after loading sports equipment or pets.